Hi, I'm Sean and the company is Response Diagnostics. This car is a 2015 MX-5 with what appears to be a very simple problem in that the horn doesn't work and obviously the customer can't get an MOT. Initially I ran a diagnostic test and confirmed that under diagnosis I can make the horn work. So we know that the signal out from the body computer to the horn and the horn is absolutely fine with no problems. So the next thing is I moved out to the clock spring. So having removed the steering wheel, which needed a puller on this car for some reason, I checked the clock spring, and which is, let me just get it back on camera, which is here. And I confirmed continuity on that it is actually fine. The car's only done 20,000 miles, by the way. I've then spread out to the various connectors. The car does have some minor water ingress and corrosion, so obviously I'm expecting to find a corroded plug somewhere. I've gone through wiring all in this area and I can see no problems so far. This is an ND model MX-5, and the body computer, I will try and show it to you, but I'm not sure exactly how well it's going to come out on the screen. But way up, let me just see if I can get it there. You can just, there, where are we? There, you can just see a white connector at the very left of the picture there. That is the body computer. It is buried way up behind the heater box. It was attempting to get to this and checking these connectors here. Try not to overlight it. These connectors here for water ingress, and I saw absolutely no problem. When a friend of mine who was giving me a hand, as always, just walks in and says, "What on earth is happening with that connector?" And when we look, we go, yeah, I think we have probably got to the cause of the problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try cleaning that connector. I strongly suspect it is too corroded to reuse, in which case I'll have to splice it out, which will take some time. I may be lucky, maybe it'll clean up, sometimes they do. I'll try and take a little bit of video of the techniques I use to replace this and clean this connector, but I'm not sure how well I'll be able to do this, because being a sports car, there really isn't very much space to get anything in there other than my arms. But you know, if I can do something, I'll post a little bit of video after this. When editing this video together, I found that the ultrasonic cleaner had interfered badly with the microphone, so I'm doing this as a voiceover. In here you can see that I've actually got a pot within a pot, and I've got brake cleaner in the connector, but I've actually only got water in the ultrasonic cleaner, which saves damaging the ultrasonic cleaner. You can use soapy water on some cases. In this instance it was actually slightly greasy, so hence I used the brake cleaner. It probably took about 5 minutes for each half of the connector, with a little bit of brushing as well, and it came up very well, with the exception of one wire, which turned out to be the horn wire, which had actually completely come away from the connector. So I actually spliced that one wire, but the rest of the connector appeared to clean up perfectly well. And at the very end here, you can just see the cleaner is actually bubbling with the ultrasonic energy. And here is the other half. Okay, so now I've got everything pretty much together. I've managed to relocate the connector quite high up there. I've squirted loads of grease and stuff on it, so hopefully that will maybe keep the weather out for a while. Something I thought might be of use, this whole trim panel here, which is right behind me, let me grab that. This whole trim panel looks a bit of a nightmare, and in reality it actually clips out very, very easily and gives you much greater access. It clips on there. There is simply one screw there, and you do need to remove the A-pillar trim, which, as you can see, I've just blinking well put back on. So I'm going to take that A-pillar trim off, clip this all back on, and then what we'll do, we'll get the diagnostic tool up, clear the airbag fault codes, which inevitably will be there, and see what works. Okay, hopefully I'm recording. Right, the vehicle is all largely back together. Let's turn the ignition on. Like that. See what wonderful fault codes we have got. Lots. But we do have a hooter. Okay, I'm going to go back into history, where I scanned the car recently. Right, diagnostic program initializing. Wait for that to happen. Diagnosis. Control unit. Restraints control. Read codes. Okay. Ignition is on. Imagine we're going to have a code here for driver's airbag. See if I'm right. Yep. Escape. Erase codes. Right. I've now cleared the fault codes, having a little bit of problem with the flat battery, so I've had to charge the battery for a while before I could continue, which reminds me I really must get my battery support unit fixed because it's giving trouble and I can't trust it, so that'll be something I'll have to do a little bit later on. Just to say that if you've got an ND model MX-5 and you're getting some rather unusual faults, as you do get with water damage, loss of the horn, but it's a big connector, there could be loads of other things going wrong, it's well worth a look down at that connector, and obviously somewhere where the rain puddles or runs down the loom. So there we go, clear dash. You got that trouble with that connector, it's just a simple case of removing that panel, which is just one bolt at the very left side of the kick panel, and clip that out and have a look behind there, and if you've got a green connector, then you've got to deal with it. I've got some stills I might be able to cut in a minute. The intention is to show you how clean it was after I nuked it in the ultrasonic, which has made all of the difference. Everything seems to be working, everything seems to be clear. Probably going to take it for a short test drive, test everything from heater to lights, wipers, everything else. At least the blower's working, and maybe that'll be of use to anybody.